Hey everybody, this is I, Yasmin. How are you? Hope you're really well. I'm just, hi Lulu. I'm just trying to find a nice filter. What's that one like? No, I don't think so. All right, well, we've got a lot to talk about today and it's all quite exciting. What I thought I'd start by doing today is answering some of the frequently asked questions I've had about why you should wait to make your new moon wishes today. So why is that? Because the moon is going to be going void of course straight after the new moon, okay? So I'm just trying to get a good filter here, but I'm not getting one, so I don't know. Now I need to just turn them off altogether because that's just too much. All right, so basically, hope you all had a good weekend. Here's a chart for the new moon. Now, if you've got my diary, don't actually have my diary handy, but this is the one for next year. I think there's still a few copies. Grab it. So yeah, basically, if you've got my diary for this year, which I can't find right now, you will have read about waiting 12 hours. And so that kind of has made its way through my community. But some people are like, what? Why do we have to wait 12 hours until after the eclipse? Excuse me. And also, a lot of people are asking, should you actually make wishes under the eclipse? Ah, thank you, darling. My beloved husband just brought my diary. So yeah, so in here, I believe I know I will have mentioned, because every year I make a careful attempt to make sure I always mention when the moon goes void of course. Now, let me just explain a couple of things. One is, what is the void of course moon? So the void of course moon, in a nutshell, there are various definitions, but the most common and popular one, and the one I'm referring to now, is when the moon makes its last aspect with a planet before it changes signs. Now, if you do my Moonology course, you'll get a good 15, I don't know how long it is, 5, 10, 15-minute explanation on this, so you can actually understand it. So, which is why if you're a yoga teacher or a Reiki person or a meditation teacher and you talk about the new moon or the full moon, the course is for you. We actually had loads and loads of sign-ups, which is really exciting. But anyway, in a nutshell, when the moon is void of course, it says that it bears no fruit. So you do not want to make your new moon wishes, especially at the time of an eclipse, when the moon is void of course. So as it says in the diary, the new moon eclipse makes this super powerful week. So be sure to invest some real energy into your new moon wishes and intentions. However, the moon goes void of course after the new moon, so wait for at least 12 hours to make your wish. Now, before I came here, I had a look at when the moon is going to change signs. So the moon is going to move into, so at the moment, the new moon is going to take place today, in about probably 5-6 hours from now. I'm actually going to do a new moon ceremony in about 45 minutes from now on the Hair House page. But the moon is going to go void of course straight after the new moon, and it's not going to move into Capricorn until tomorrow around 3:30 in the morning. Okay, so you can make your wishes anytime after that. Now that's a London time. Okay, so basically I hope that makes a little bit of sense, or at least gives you some clear guidelines. The moon is going to go void of course straight after the new moon, and therefore what you do when the moon is void of course is said to bear no fruit. Therefore what you really want to do is you want to make your wishes about 12 hours as a rough guide wherever you are. Make your wishes up to 12 hours after the new moon. And if you don't know what time the new moon is at your place, then you can go to my Facebook events page, because I believe I have times there and a link to find out wherever else in the world. So if you go to Yasmin Boland's Facebook page, and then you go to my events page, and then you look at New Moon Gathering, click that. I'm 99% sure you'll find it in there. And I will attempt to explain what time the moons are taking place when I do my midday UK time new moon session, which will be which will be in about 45 minutes from now. Now, another question I have been asked a lot this week, which I wanted to answer here because it's about the eclipse, is, oh, it's an eclipse. Can I make wishes? And apparently there are some astrologers out there who say or believe that you can't make wishes under an eclipse, which I don't know where they got that from. No, that relates back to a really kind of old-fashioned, and I would say completely outdated, and I would even say misleading belief that eclipses are somehow bad. And, you know, eclipses are not bad. Eclipses are powerful times when the universe changes gears. If you think of it like this, back in the day, the peasants were out in the field. And I say peasants with compassion. I may have been a peasant in a past life. That's what they called us. The peasants were out in the field tilling the soil for the, you know, for the king in the castle, the queen in the castle. And then all of a sudden, because back in those days there was no social media, you know, everybody didn't know when the eclipse was coming. And, you know, if it's actually, you know, it depends on where you are in the world, but if there was a total eclipse of the sun, suddenly the skies would go dark. And what happens when the skies grow dark? The birds stop chirping, and then what else happens? The dogs start howling, and everybody goes, oh my God, the sun's gone out. Like, imagine, it would be really freaky if all of a sudden, you know, it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and suddenly the skies go dark, the birds stop chirping, the dogs start howling, and then it stays dark for a bit, and then it comes light again. So obviously, people used to have a lot of fear around these eclipses. And what would happen is that afterwards they would blame everything bad that happened on that fateful day when the skies went dark. So I hope you can understand why eclipses had a, I think, very incorrect reputation. So what you actually can see eclipses as, rather than seeing it like that, is like this. Imagine that before you incarnated, this is a tiny bit of a stretch for some people, not for others, but imagine, you know, before you came here to planet Earth, let's just say your soul, okay, which is the part of you that's divine, in this incarnation, your soul agreed to have a life that would teach you certain lessons in order for your soul to evolve, okay? I don't think that's that big a stretch. So we all have a life purpose, which you can find in the astrology chart. Again, that's another thing I mentioned in my course, which is linked to in the description above on Facebook. But, you know, you can look in the chart and you can see your life purpose. You can see where you've been and you can see where you're going. And just say you come down to Earth, and so you're born as a baby. You're all cute and, you know, crying because you're separated from heaven. That's what they say. And as you grow, you know, your soul carries the code of your life purpose, and you know what you're supposed to achieve on this planet. You know what you're here to do. Now, just say you go miles and miles off track from your life purpose. You know, maybe you get into it's what I did, get into a really toxic relationship that starts to screw you up, mess with your head, you know, and so all you can think about is, you know, this toxic situation you're in, and you kind of really go off path, and, you know, or maybe you end up drinking too much, and, you know, you're too drunk to achieve your life purpose, or maybe someone comes along and hurts you and it just distracts you and, you know, throws you off the rails. So what an eclipse is all about is actually like a time to get back on track, to right wherever you've gone off path, okay? So I think of it like this. Imagine if you had I have a few different ways I imagine in my head, but let's say, imagine I've got two fighting for attention in my head. Let's say you've got a train track, a kid's toy train track, and in it you've got two tracks, and one goes that way and one goes that way. So in a way, eclipses can be like the great hand of the great goddess, or whatever you want to call the universe or spirit, picking up that little train that's on the wrong track and bang, putting it on the right track. And it's kind of a bit jolting and a bit unceremonious, you know, and that's why eclipses can be really intense, because they basically pick you up if you're on the wrong path, and they very unceremoniously shunt you onto the right path, and that can feel difficult. You know, I've spoken about it a fair bit these days, but you know, one of my biggest ever eclipses happened at the time that I broke up from the very, very toxic relationship I was involved with 20 years ago, which I've referred to a lot recently, where I was completely off my path. I mean, completely off my path. And story for another day, but it really was. So don't fear eclipses. And this whole thing about, no, you mustn't make wishes when the moon is, when the eclipses are happening, I disagree. I don't see eclipses as a bad thing. I think they're like an adjustment to get us back on the right and proper path. And for that reason, I actually think it's more important than ever to make your new moon wishes, which I will be doing a little bit of either. I think I'm actually not going to do them at midday because I'm doing a workshop with the Open Center in New York tonight. And I think I'm going to be doing a ritual in that. So if you haven't signed up for that and you want to, that's going to be fun. It's just 2 hours long. So one other thing I wanted to address today is to let you know, first of all, there are now just, I think, less than 24 hours. There's about 18 hours left if you want to get $200 off and $350 worth of free gifts when you buy my Moonology Certification course, which is linked to in the description above. So if you're thinking about it, you've got 18 hours left to do it. I highly recommend you do it. The special goes away. The price increases $200 tomorrow. I've had a lot of people asking me 2 questions, so I'm just going to address those. The first is people say, how fast do you have to go? How long do you have the course for? So you have lifetime access. So you buy it today, you've got it forever. So if you can't watch it, you know, in the next couple of weeks or whatever, you have forever to watch it. However, if you buy it now in the promotion period, not only do you get the $200 off, but Hay House asked me, and I've agreed, to do 2 additional webinars in January. So for anybody who's kind of starting it now or starting it over Christmas, New Year, who has questions, I'll be doing these free webinars just for people who've bought the course, because, you know, just in case you've got questions that you need answering. And the other question I've had a lot, because it is a certification course, which means you're going to be certified to call yourself a certified Moonologer, which is a big deal really in my book. That's why there's quite a rigorous quiz at the end of it. And a lot of people said to me, have you got a certificate? Is there a certificate? And yes, there is a certificate that you will get. So if you work professionally, like you're a yoga teacher or a herbalist or a Reiki practitioner or a meditation teacher or a life coach or whatever, and you want to talk to your clients and really know what you're talking about and feel really strongly, you know, you'll be able to empower other people to help themselves. You will also have a certificate. So again, there's about 18 hours left if you want to get $200 off. So I would love you, if you're going to buy it, please buy it now so you get $200 off. Don't wait until tomorrow when it goes up $200. Okay, so now I'm going to finish with a card. Who is up for a card? I actually can't see anyone's comments on Facebook today, so let me just see if I can, maybe I can. All I can see is Virginie saying, what do you mean? So Ange Hill, please contact customer care at hayhouse.co.uk, customer care at hayhouse.co.uk. Ange is saying she bought the course, but it's not showing in her account yet. It should be, because when you buy it, it's instant download. Instant download. You want a card? Who's saying they want a card? Where are we? Lindy, Pamela. Okay, just going to see if there's any other questions I need to answer. John Fletcher. Hi, John. I love your 2021 Moonology Diary. I've purchased 6 to give my close friends for Christmas. Thank you. This is it here. Anybody hasn't got it yet? I'm now working on the 2022 one. I'm May the 1st, 78. I'm Taurus with Gemini rising, and I'm a hairstylist. Yes, John, but I don't see a question. What's the question? Anyway, I'll just tell you one thing. As Gemini rising, anyone who's Gemini or Gemini rising, Sag or Sag rising, it's a big day for you because it's the eclipse in your sign or your love zone. But it's a big day for everybody. And I'll be explaining more about it on my Hay House thing. And then I'll be explaining about it tonight in my workshop. But if you really want to understand the moon, every moon, all the time, get it all in your head, get my Moonology Certification course, $200 off if you order it before midnight Pacific time on Monday. And that's about 7 a.m. UK time. All right, here we go. Here is, oh, okay. I feel this. I feel this, baby. All right. The message is, are you ready? Time to breathe out. That's a good message for me because I'm so excited here at the moment. There's so much going on. Like I've just done my chanting. I'm doing this. I'm going to do my Hay House new moon thing. I'm going to then do at 4 p.m. my Unity online radio. And then tonight I'm doing the Open Center workshop. And then tomorrow I've got my Written in the Stars for people who are Aquarius rising. It's just like chaos right now. Okay, so disseminating moon. I think that's my fault we got that card. It's not a bad card, but it just means, you know, everybody breathe. Okay, so think of your question that you were asking and then listen to the answer. Listen to the answer in that context. Yes, and exhale. Where are we? Okay, got it. Niha, you need to watch the video when it's finished, watch it again. I answered, should we wait until tomorrow to make our wishes? So here we go. The intensity of the full moon energetically, now this is not for now, this is if you draw this card, okay, which we just did, has abated. What are we left with? So, you know, basically it's been a peak time for period for all of us. This card suggests it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. Have faith in what is happening is for the best. Try to accept things are now, the way things are now, and give yourself and others time to relax. Okay? Breathe out. We can't be on all the time. Be honest with yourself if you feel that, if you're not feeling good, and remind yourself that life goes in cycles. So, the attune to the moon is, I love this. Are you ready? I am where I am, and it's okay. So just keep saying that. I am where I am, and it's okay. Additional meanings. You should know where you stand either now or very soon. You need to take some time out for your own good. I mean, I tried to take this weekend off because I'm still recovering from whatever I had, and literally I worked half of Saturday and half of Sunday. But it's because we're launching this course and there's a lot to do. It's time for you to share your wisdom and experience with someone else. Well, that applies to me. I'm sharing ancient wisdom in a modern way with my Moonology course. Link above. Melanie says, awesome card. I drew the same card last night from another deck last night. Well, strong message to you to take some time out. Karina, I think it's the calm before something happens. Ooh. Well, it is the full moon, a new moon eclipse today, guys. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take time to breathe out ahead of getting back on here in about probably half an hour now to talk more about the new moon eclipse. And just remember, I really want you to get the discount. If you want to buy it, it's $200 off to buy my Moonology Certification course if you buy it in the next like 18 hours. And after that, basically the price doubles. All right, okay, I'm sending you lots and lots of love. And for those of you who are not, it's not 1 o'clock in the morning already, I'll see you maybe, if you feel like it, at the new moon eclipse event happening on Hay House, the Hay House page at midday UK time. So that's about half an hour from now, wherever you are in the world. Mwah, lots of love.